So I was working in the beautiful country of Costa Rica, but the time on my visa was almost up after 90 days. I had to get out of the country for a few days and then come back in order to get another 90 days. This was how people generally do it in Costa Rica, as it is a major hassle to get a legitimate working visa. Moreover, the work I was doing was rather basic, rather than something more complicated requiring government permission. During my time in that country, I had lost perhaps around 20 pounds or so, or about 10 kilograms, so that none of my clothes fit me. Rather than buying new apparel, I was content to wear my oversized garments. I was young, and I didn't really care about how I looked, or how my clothes looked on me. I have since become a little bit more fashion conscious. For whatever reason, my ATM card wasn't working, so I was limited in the amount of money I had and could spend. I don't remember how much money I had, but it wasn't very much. Under these circumstances, I made my way to the bus terminal in order to take a trip to the neighboring country of Panama. I would be visiting the islands of Bocas del Toro, which was known for its beautiful beaches. Before I went, I had to go to the bathroom, and when I finished my business, I began to pull my belt together. I didn't realize at the time, but that belt was really holding my life together. I tightened my belt, and then suddenly I hear a rip. The old cheap leather had ripped apart. Well, did this trip just get complicated? Now my pants didn't fit me, and I had no way of keeping them up. I had little money to rectify the situation. I now had to go to Panama while keeping up my trousers. I had to go. There was no turning back. While on the bus, it was awfully uncomfortable as I had to sit in a position that kept my pants somewhat comfortable. We stopped somewhere for rest. I would have to hold my pants up. I was kind of embarrassed about the situation, so I didn't tell some of the other passengers with whom I was friendly. I wonder what they were thinking as I sheepishly held up my pants. We arrived at the beach town, and during the 3-day stay, I mostly stayed in my swimsuit as it fit okay. There was one night in the hostel where a loud, drunk man with long blonde hair came into the room and woke me up. I was furious, and I walked over there intending to give him a piece of my mind. However, I didn't have the courage to actually say something. I'm usually non-confrontational, so I just walked back to my bed. It came up to the 3rd day of my stay, and it was time to go. I was in my ordinary oversized pants, and once again struggled to keep them up. We got to the border, and we stopped at a market. It was at this market that I saw a belt with a silver shiny buckle. I was limited in my money, so I wasn't sure if I'd buy it. I asked, "Cuánto cuesta?" Or how much? $4, or $4, he responded. I decided that I needed the belt, so I went ahead and bought it. Wow! Did it feel good to finally be able to keep my pants up without having to hold them up? We crossed the border on foot and arrived at the Costa Rican immigration. It was a long line, but it felt so good with that belt on that the time went by fast. It came to be my turn at the window. I handed over my passport to the immigration officer when he informed me that I needed a return ticket out of Costa Rica so as to signify that I would be leaving before my new 90 days was up. So I had to buy a bus ticket. But guess what? I was $4 short. That new belt had ruined me. I figured I had to beg to get that $4, so I did. I pleaded to the other passengers. "I need $4. I never do this, but my ATM card isn't working." Guess who gave me the money? It was the long, blonde-haired man who had come into the hostel drunk the other night, so I was thankful that I didn't yell at him. I got the money and made my way safely back to San Jose, Costa Rica, with my pants held up with that new belt. The new belt lasted about a week before it broke.